The 16th century in Italy witnessed the emergence of a captivating and often enigmatic art movement known as Mannerism. Born in the wake of the High Renaissance, Mannerism marked a distinct departure from the harmonious ideals and naturalistic representations that defined the previous era. Emerging around the 1520s, this innovative style flourished in various artistic centers across Italy, including Florence, Rome, and Mantua, before eventually spreading its influence throughout Europe. Mannerism arrived as a response to the artistic zenith reached during the High Renaissance. Instead of directly competing with these giants, Mannerist artists sought to forge a new path, embracing a more sophisticated, stylized, and intellectually charged approach to art. To fully grasp the innovative spirit of Mannerism, it is essential to understand how it differed from the High Renaissance art that preceded it. While the High Renaissance celebrated harmony, balance, and naturalism, Mannerism reveled in artifice, exaggeration, and a deliberate departure from classical ideals. The serene beauty and idealized forms of Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa stand in stark contrast to the elongated figures, enigmatic expressions, and heightened emotionalism found in the works of Mannerist masters like Pontormo or Parmigianino. High Renaissance artists inspired by classical antiquity sought to portray the human form with anatomical accuracy and to create compositions that were balanced, harmonious, and pleasing to the eye. In contrast, Mannerist artists deliberately distorted proportions, employed unnaturalistic colors, and created compositions that were often asymmetrical, crowded, and filled with a sense of movement and tension. Their goal was not to replicate reality, but to create an art that was deliberately artificial, expressive, and intellectually stimulating. By breaking away from the conventions of the High Renaissance, Mannerism paved the way for new artistic possibilities. Mannerism was shaped by key figures who pushed the boundaries of artistic convention and helped define the movement's distinctive style. Among the most prominent were Pontormo, Rosso Fiorentino, Parmigianino, and Agnolo Bronzino. Jacopo Pontormo, a Florentine painter, is celebrated for his emotionally charged works, often characterized by elongated figures, vibrant colors, and a sense of spiritual intensity. Rosso Fiorentino is known for his eccentric compositions, featuring contorted figures and dramatic lighting. Parmigianino is renowned for his elegant, elongated figures, often depicted in graceful poses that seem to defy gravity. Agnolo Bronzino, a court painter to the Medici, is celebrated for his sophisticated portraits, capturing his sitters with an air of cool detachment and aristocratic refinement. Mannerism is immediately recognizable for its distinctive visual language, characterized by a deliberate departure from the naturalism and harmony of the High Renaissance. Mannerist artists embraced elegance, exaggeration, and intellectual sophistication, creating works that were often complex, ambiguous, and visually arresting. One hallmark of Mannerist art is its emphasis on elongated and graceful figures. Unlike the idealized, anatomically correct figures of the High Renaissance, Mannerist artists distorted proportions, often stretching their figures vertically to create an effect of elegance and refinement. Mannerist artists also employed a vibrant and often unnaturalistic palette, using bold colors to create a sense of drama and heightened emotion. Another defining characteristic is the complex and often ambiguous treatment of space, with manipulated perspective creating unsettling spatial relationships. Mannerist art was characterized by its intellectual sophistication and often obscure symbolism, reflecting the values of the courtly elite who were often the patrons of Mannerist art. The aesthetic principles that defined Mannerism in the visual arts also found expression in literature and music. Writers and composers sought to break free from classical forms and embrace a more complex, stylized, and emotionally charged approach. In literature, Mannerism manifested in elaborate language, complex metaphors, and unconventional narrative structures. In music, composers like William Byrd and Gesualdo challenged the established rules of harmony, experimenting with dissonance and chromaticism. The Mannerist aesthetic found a receptive audience in the courts and intellectual circles of late 16th century Europe. Mannerism, though often overshadowed by the grandeur of the High Renaissance and the drama of the Baroque, left an indelible mark on the history of Western art. It served as a crucial bridge between these two major movements, challenging the established artistic norms and paving the way for new forms of expression. Mannerism's influence can be seen in the works of artists like El Greco and Caravaggio, whose dramatic use of light and shadow and exploration of psychological intensity can be traced back to Mannerist innovations. Beyond its direct influence on individual artists, Mannerism expanded the very definition of art. By embracing complexity, artifice, and intellectual sophistication, Mannerism challenged viewers to engage with art on a deeper, more conceptual level. Though Mannerism eventually gave way to new artistic trends, its influence continued to resonate, inspiring artists to challenge conventions and explore the full expressive potential of their chosen medium.